Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey here, once again with another video on The Flash Season 3. So this is going to be my review for Episode 9, otherwise known as the mid-season finale for The Flash Season 3, which is otherwise entitled The Present. Now just a heads up, at the end of the video I'll be doing a giveaway. It's a mid-season finale, so let's do something special, so stay until the end if you want to know about that. But obviously before we get into the review, spoiler warning, if you have not watched the episode, we're going to go over some main parts that do happen within the episode. So we start off with a pretty cool thing, which I wasn't sure we were going to get straight at the beginning, but I did know that this episode was going to be heavily focused on Dr. Alchemy, and that was a flashback story involving Julian Albert in India, where he discovers an ancient artifact which we are basically led to believe is the Philosopher's Stone, which does get revealed later on. I must say that H.R. Wells definitely knows how to embrace the Christmas holidays. Like, he decked out that cortex like we've never seen before. If you noticed when the academic paper that came up that Julian had wrote, it said that his name was J. Albert Desmond. Now, Albert Desmond is the name of Dr. Alchemy from the comics. So some of you may not have noticed that. It might have just been an Easter egg, or maybe they will reveal his name as, Julian Albert Desmond later in the season. Going to Earth 3 was really awesome. We got the return of Mark Hamill as the Earth 3 trickster, which he actually came out in an interview, I think last week, and said that he changed it around and sort of mixed the Joker. If you did not know, he's famous for being the animated voice of the Joker. And he sort of mixed the Joker and the trickster together to give this Earth 3 trickster a different feel. So we only got a small part of him, and it's understandable, he's a busy dude. They could only get him for this short amount of time. So it was cool to have him for this short amount than not have him at all. And it was also awesome seeing Jay Garrick in action because, well, this was really the first time. Now, the Savitar backstory from Jay Garrick was pretty interesting. We will get more of that later in the season, hopefully, but he was human before, but because of his obsession with the Speed Force and learning so much about it, he has become whatever he is now. So he's fused with something. It's pretty interesting. But yeah, so hopefully we'll learn more about that later in the season. Was I the only one that found it extremely funny to watch H.R. Wells training Wally, just the way that they were celebrating after they found out that Wally was progressing at a much faster rate than Barry was? I just thought that was funny, and H.R. Wells would be a pretty cool teacher to have. Now we did see in the trailer for this episode that Jay Garrick and Barry would be facing Savitar. I did find it interesting that the stone being encased again in that box locks up Savitar. It's a bit of an easy way to lock him up for a short amount of time. But it makes sense because he was released because Julian opened that box originally. Barry unmasking Alchemy as Julian was pretty cool. I wasn't sure if there was going to be something where, Barry gets knocked over by an acolyte and then it gets delayed until the end of the episode. But it had to happen then to allow what happened later in the episode to happen. And I must say, Jay Garrick got sort of messed up by Savitar. We thought Barry got messed up. Jay Garrick got beaten the hell out of. We got more links to the split personality within Julian, as he has no idea how Flash could think that he is Alchemy. What the hell he must have been thinking to himself. Which causes Barry having to unmask to Julian to gain his trust, which I was sort of surprised with, but I could sort of see coming, it had to happen eventually. Which does convince Julian to spill all the details of what had happened and all the stuff that he'd been, skipping out of on his story. Now, one other storyline which I did think was going to be bigger in this episode, it's in the synopsis for this episode, but it happened pretty quick, and that was Cisco seeing Dante. And I thought it might have been some post-traumatic stress or something that Cisco was going through, but it was just Savitar using Dante as a way to get Cisco to open the box in order to let him free again, which does happen, but you can understand why Cisco does it, but it did take a lot of control from Cisco to eventually close that box. That scene where they used Julian as a communicator to Savitar was pretty damn sick. We find out that future Barry is the one that trapped Savitar, most likely in the Speed Force. I don't think they actually say the Speed Force. They say you trapped me for eternity or something, but it's most likely the Speed Force, while revealing destinies for the group such as a betrayal and a death within that group. So we do get a hint at the death later on, but what could the betrayal be? That's interesting. I lost my crap. I just started laughing my head off when Cisco made that quick Jumanji reference. I don't know if you heard it, but they were, when they were going over ways to hide the Philosopher's Stone. I can't remember who said it. It might have been Joe who said, "Dod, just dig it in the ground, chuck it in a hole in the ground." And Cisco goes, Jumanji. Because if you haven't seen Jumanji in that movie, it's used, and then it gets buried, and then some kids find it and they reopen it, and it causes the chaos within Jumanji to happen. So I thought that was pretty funny. Now, Jay's idea to hide the Philosopher's Stone in the Speed Force was a smart idea, especially if they connected it to the whole, like, oh, Savitar's trapped in the Speed Force as well. But if he's trapped in the Speed Force, and that Philosopher's Stone is now in the Speed Force, then wouldn't Savitar be able to pick it up? Am I the only one that's thinking that? But then again, they haven't confirmed that Savitar's trapped in the Speed Force, but that's where he is usually, so I think that's what's going to happen. But due to this, like, there's like an explosion, and Barry gets chucked somewhere where he actually sees Savitar murder Iris in a pretty savage way. He was actually in the future, which is revealed by Jay Garrick, and this is his first time traveling to the future. He's traveled back in time a lot, as we should know. Barry loves messing in the past. So he's traveled 5 months into the future where, you know, that murder has happened with Iris. So really now for Barry, it's a ticking time bomb to that point in time where Iris is meant to die. So it's going to be interesting to see how that progresses and how Barry attempts to change that from happening. Now, drunk H.R. Wells is definitely the best H.R. Wells possible in my opinion. He must have drunk a lot of eggnog, I must say. And one awesome thing which I didn't think would happen in this episode is that Wally gets his Kid Flash suit for Christmas. That's a pretty awesome Christmas present. It was nice to see Julian come to the Christmas party and get Barry his job back. It was just hit you in the feels because there was such tension between them two, but Julian's come to the realization of what Barry has just done for him. He's like relieved all this pressure and that massive, well, whatever you want to call it, that Julian had on him with Alchemy. And now Julian can sort of live a normal life. So will Julian and Barry become best bros? I don't know, Cisco might get a bit jealous, but we'll have to wait and see. And we finish off the episode with Barry and Iris moving in together, which, yeah, I guess that just happened. But overall, I thought this was a really, really good episode. In a strange way, it was a really poor excuse for a mid-season finale. Like, it didn't feel like a mid-season finale to me. It felt like a mid-season premiere. And by that, I mean, like, they set up a lot of stuff that's going to happen later on, such as, like, the Savitar from the future. Julian's been relieved of his Dr. Alchemy stuff. Wally West got his Kid Flash suit. But now we're going on a massive break, and then it's going to return with a different episode. So it didn't feel like a mid-season finale to me, which is disappointing. There was no cliffhanger, really. It felt like a mid-season premiere. But apart from that, I can't really have any more complaints about this episode. I thought it was really good, just not a good mid-season finale, if that makes sense. But now onto the giveaway, and because we're going on such a long break between these shows, I'm going to be giving away 2 things. And I'm going to mention it on the other shows as well, because it's going to be like a channel-wide giveaway, if you want to call it that, over the next, 3 to 4 weeks. I'll announce it in about a month's time, but I'll let everyone know when that's happening. But essentially this giveaway, I've done a few on YouTube, I've done one on Twitter, and this one's actually going to be on Instagram. I know it's a bit strange, and it's just to spread it around, not keep it on one platform all the time. So just a quick backstory, essentially like about a month ago, my Facebook, Instagram, and my Snapchat all got quote unquote hacked into by someone, and they deleted my Snapchat and attempted to delete my Facebook and my Instagram. Which happened, but I was able to recover both my Facebook and Instagram, but most of the stuff on both of them were deleted. So essentially all you have to do to be entered into the giveaway is just follow me on Instagram. That's about it. So I'll leave my Instagram name up on the screen right now. I will actually leave my Instagram account linked in the description below if you want to access it through your computer. But yeah, all you have to do is follow it, and then in about 3 or 4 weeks time, I'll choose 2 winners, and whoever I choose first gets to choose if they want the Pop Funko or a t-shirt first. And then whoever comes second gets the remaining prize. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy the video. If you did, it'd be very much appreciated if you could leave a like on it. Let me know in the comment section below what was your favourite part of the episode. Am I the only one that feels like it was a bit of a disappointing mid-season finale? Like, I thought it was a really awesome episode, as I said. It just didn't feel like a mid-season finale to me. And if you are new around here, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.